Hi everyone. I wanted to try some echo dyeing. I've been wanting to try this for some time, and I was going to do it on my little trip to Alabama, and unfortunately we had to come home, so I didn't get it done. Uh, First off, I've got this aluminum pan that I got at a garage sale for nothing. It was in a free box. It just happened to be kind of the right size, so I picked it up. It's only aluminum, so I do have to worry about whether or not it'll last very long, but for free, it didn't matter. I've got a couple of like cooling racks for cookies or something. They're little metal racks. I got them at the thrift store somewhere. Of course, I got lots of paper and lots of leaves. You can see there, hubby's helping me collect different leaves so that I would have different patterns. I tried different kinds of paper. I did find that there was one paper I'll use a lot more because it seemed like it took the patterns of the leaves better than anything else. Now, that doesn't mean that it always will or that they weren't the good leaves or something, but it just seemed like everything I put on that particular paper seemed to come up better than some. And I did put two pieces of paper between each pile of leaves thinking that the leaves would die from both sides. And I don't know that that's true, but I still think that the two pieces of paper worked out fine. When we get to the end, those are actually little marigold blossoms that were kind of past their prime. Marigolds, you can dye just with marigolds. And I might actually try some of that um, down the road just to see how it works. Just see whether or not it's gonna do anything. I'm just making a big sandwich of leaves and paper. Those happen to be hibiscus leaves right there. Um, some of them I have no idea what they were. They're just, plants in the yard. I also used a lot of cardstock, thinking that the cooking of the paper might make it kind of disintegrate. I didn't have any trouble with that at all. That's just copy paper there, folded in half. It happened to be legal size copy paper, so you had to fold it. Oops, the wind's come up, of course. And I have no idea how many sheets of paper or anything I put in there. I just kept going until I thought the stack was fat enough that I'd have trouble getting the clamps on it. And I've got a couple of binder clamps that I'm going to clamp the two little metal racks together. Like I said, the metal racks were nothing special. They were just thrift store finds. Squash, squash, squash. Hubby's helping me. He helped me get the clamps on. It made it a lot easier. I probably could have done it myself, but having extra hands helped. Now we're putting the stuff in the paper in the pan. Yay, paper's in the pan. And now I'm going to throw in my rusty bits. That was odds and ends of bolts and just all kinds of things that Jeff pulled that were already rusty. And this is my little pan sitting on top of my rocket stove. Now, if you're not familiar with a rocket stove, just check them out on YouTube. There's all kinds of them. Um, my pan's sitting on a wire rack above the cinder block because you have to have enough airflow under the pan. And I was a little worried about my pan burning, so I actually have an extra cinder block in the design of the stove, and I'm probably going to try taking it out next time. I'm just dumping water into my pan, and there I have some distilled white vinegar, And I didn't measure, I just glugged some in there. Um, that's probably a good cup and a half. I think I decided, that's not quite enough. Let's put in some more. Now, right now the pan's not full, but it will be before I start the fire. And I put rusty stuff on the bottom and rusty stuff on the top because I wanted the iron oxide to come out of the metal. I decided to get my water in there before I lit the fire. And I just filled the pan up just as full as I could get it. And those vegetable cans are full of water just to weight things down. I just wanted to make sure my paper stayed submerged in the pan. I had trouble though because there were little rusty bits sitting on top of my paper and it kept making the cans want to fall over. Now this is one of the things about the rocket stove that we will change. Jeff's already brought me home two more cinder blocks. It's too close to the ground. It's too hard to get to. So by raising it up on a second cinder block, I will be able to get to it a lot easier. Um, it just raises the firebox up a little bit. And that brick stuff all around the little cinder blocks is just an old grill, outdoor grill station that is in the yard that's been there forever and ever. And putting it there was just because it'll stay out of the way. You just have to feed the little sticks into the cinder block firebox. And quite frankly, with the extra block on top of it, my paper simmered just perfectly. You just build a small fire in there and just feed it little sticks, sort of in the right-hand corner of the video. You can see some of the little sticks that I used. And of course, Jeff's cleaned the whole yard, so there aren't a lot of little sticks, but we had enough to keep my fire going for a while. I simmered the paper probably a good 2 hours. It wasn't boiling, and so what I did was I simmered it until I got some nice rusty colored paper colors coming up. And then actually I left it sit overnight because the water was really hot and I had to fire and it got dark. So this is the next morning. And you can see my lovely foamy, nasty, rusty stuff and a few little leaves that fell in. And it had some lovely scum on top of it. It's kind of nasty and icky, and I didn't want to tear the paper picking up the wire racks with all of the rusty bits on top, so I was being real careful and gentle. And then I realized I was going to have to rinse off that top sheet because the scum was just too much. I'm being so gentle with my rusty bits, can you tell? And then I decided, okay, that's too much, too scummy. I can't really wipe it off. So what I did was, in a second, you'll see me grab a can of water that I had been using for a weight, and I just kind of rinsed off the whole pile. I just got the scum off. It won't take the color off, but it took the scum off, and that's what I really wanted to do. And I didn't take the clamps off right then. What I did was just try to drain it out. This is definitely an outdoor project where you don't have all that mess coming in the house. And then I set it on the front of the stove. Come on now. Oh, I have to move the camera, so oops. See there where I set it? And I just set it there, and I left it sit there for about 4 hours maybe, just to let as much moisture drain out of it as possible before I started trying to take it apart. The paper is so delicate when it is wet that just just trying to get the leaves off of it, I was afraid I'd tear it up. So um, I just waited, and therefore it was still wet, but I could pick up the paper better and get the leaves off of it. And I just took, as many of them off as I could. And I may not have boiled it hard enough. I'm real pleased with my results. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try for better results next time. I did find I absolutely love the ferns. The ferns gave me gorgeous prints. Now these are still real wet and they look real white. Quite frankly, when they got dry, they don't look near as white as they do in these pictures. At least not to me. I mean, there's some luscious color on them. And I didn't try to get every last little bit off because the marigold seeds are just kind of stuck to the paper. Once they got dry, they came off real easy. You can definitely tell the rust was all around the edges of the paper. I don't know if I had boiled it harder, if it would have gone in further. There's Echo dyeing is really an experiment. Granted, you can learn what your results are going to be to some extent, but it's always going to be a little bit of an experiment unless you use the same exact plant, the same ratio of water to vinegar, same paper, because the different papers did dye differently. That's that piece that was on the top is just yummy, yummy. Okay, that piece is on the top, and you can see when they dry, they get a little lighter in color, but you can still see the designs of the leaves and um, the different colors of that transferred into there. I'm very, very pleased for my first attempt. Um, Now I've dyed fabric before, never with leaves like this. I've rust dyed things before, not paper. Uh, Most of this right here is cardstock. Um, and it's just a white cardstock. I also had put in a few sheets of cream colored paper, and I'm not exactly sure which ones were the cream colored paper. The color of the paper pages all seem to be the same. This is just copy paper here, regular size copy paper. And then this was legal size copy paper. Um, I don't know if that those leaves were just not the most exciting ones or just what, but the copy paper seemed to take the dye less than some of the others. This was some big paper I have. It's like gigantic, 11 by 17 or something like that. And it was folded in half. And I think it just took some of it's some of the best prints I got. And see there again, I just love the ferns. They just came out beautifully. I just wanted you to see that it went all the way through. Um, Anyways, this is my first attempt. I am definitely going to be doing this again. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I hope you guys might try this. It's a lot of fun. Now you can use your barbecue grill and not have a rocket stove, but this was just so much fun. Anyways, guys, go have fun. Make some art. Bye-bye.